the Exponential Files, the place where you find out how to be a great agent and do it eXp way. I'm Larry Loffer, one of your hosts, and Jim Lowenstern is also here, the co host and founder of this show. Today, we have a brand new agent who is using the skills that he's learned in eXp to build his dream. James Gardenhire is in Texas, and I'd like to say where he is in Texas, but he works all over the place. Welcome to the show, James.
Thank you. It's nice to be on.
Yeah, it is nice to be on. We're here because EXP provides a foundation for every single agent to build their own business, not the franchise business, their own business, and to grow it in a way that's not just centrally located to their town, but it's worldwide. So you have the ability to build referrals outside your particular area, outside your particular state. Jim, weigh in on this. We've had this conversation before.
Yeah, I mean, just since last week, a lead came to me for New Zealand, and it's a $20 million buyer. And I'm not thinking, okay, I have to go to Google and do a search for brokers in New Zealand and get up to speed on what's going on in New Zealand because every country is different. And within literally seconds, right off my phone, I'm in contact with the broker for the whole country, basically, who oversees all the other brokers and handles the lead. And then I find out she's basically in the same downline that I'm in, and one of my sponsors actually opened up the whole country. So I mean, it's tough for agents outside of eXp to kind of grasp what's going on. I am always doing that. That's my main focus, is growing the Castle's brand worldwide. So I'm always talking to brokers, and so the short answer is, yeah, it's everything you just said.
It absolutely is, and even a little bit more. One of the places where I'm really hoping I don't get referrals is in England, where agents only get 1%, and there's only one agent, so can't make a great living
No
there.
buyer brokers.
Yeah,
No buyer brokers, and all the agents hate each other.
yeah, but
And you can only knock on doors of people that have listed properties.
right.
And that it's yeah, we'll cover that on a future show for sure.
Yeah, yeah, and just because we're so close to Canada, you can't knock on doors in Canada either. So, if door knocking is your thing, stay here where you can knock on doors. You just get kind of yelled at every once in a while. It doesn't make any difference, does it, James? You're not a door knocker, but you are using this platform to grow your business through referrals. Share with me the story you shared last night, where the person in Dallas got in touch with you.
Uh, yeah, sure. So I've been doing some marketing over social media. And I had a lady out of a Dallas area that has a property that they put on the market. I believe it's about 5.5 million. With a different agent, and she reached out to me based on my marketing, wanting my opinion. Is this property being marketed properly? Things of that nature. And she was very she wanted the information. She was reaching out to all sorts of different agents just to get that information. And I think a lot of luxury clients do that. They want information. And it was one of those things where I was like, I will do what I can. I got with the listing agent. I asked him if I could help promote this property in any way, through social media and whatnot. And they were good with that. So I just started pushing it out there.
So you did a couple of good things there. We all know because of our realtor code that you really can't solicit work from somebody who's under agreement. So the good thing that you did is after you got this call that you called the listing agent and asked them if you could help promote. And they said yes, because why not? The more people who see a property, the better it is for a client.
That is correct.
So, what other kinds of things are you doing, James, to build this business? Before you start, I want to say, like we always say, agents come from every single field, and what you did before and how you did it can be a benefit to your business. And you are a construction estimator. You've worked in pretty much every aspect of construction. You have a degree in business management, I believe. So, how have all of what you did before helped you with what you're doing right now?
I think the biggest takeaway for me is pricing a property. I
Hmm.
mean, in any market, I mean that is the struggle. From what I've seen, with the CMA generators, understanding how a property is priced is, it's make or break. You overprice it, you're not going to get the property sold. You underprice, you're not really reaching out there and getting the money for the client that they're wanting. So you have to find that equal medium. And I believe, with my background, I have a greater understanding of what it costs to build and get things put on the market and sold, in the time needed. Constructions definitely helped me manage a lot of different aspects. As I come into the realty world, there are some differences, but I do see a lot of similarities too in the way you manage your business and manage the projects as they're coming through. Is it's the same with managing a property for somebody, because once you
Well,
sign
let
that
me enter. I'm sorry.
no,
Keep,
go ahead.
keep going.
So I was just going to
I was
say,
just going to say, and Larry, you can weigh in on this because as realtors, we look at the market, and the price is a function of a lot of different things: days on market, interest rates, um, just the general tone of people's finances and the news and everything. We're in a very different market than we were in last year at this time, for sure. But even go into the spring, interest rates have really uh, gone up so much that it's got to weigh in. So a lot of it has to do, and I guess, James, you look at a house and you go, okay, just to replace this house, it's going to cost X. And we have to look at it as realtors as to sell this house, it's not X. It might be X plus in a good market, or in this case, it might be X minus. And we have to have some very tough conversations right now with both buyers and sellers.
Right.
The house may not sell for what it's worth. So if people want to get full value, they may have to be really patient.
And this is particularly bad after last year when people were getting $200,000 over asking price. Um, and it's just not that market anymore because interest rates have gone up. The buying power has gone down. Days on market has gone up. You're seeing a number of list price to sale price that is changing. It used to be 120% list price to sale price. Now it's 91%. All of these are great for the buyer. Um, and
Except for the high interest rates.
except for the high interest rates. But if you are looking in a place, you're going more inventory is coming on the market. In fact, I saw a statistic from one of my lending partners that 26% growth in new starts in homes. So the builders are back, baby. And there's going to be new homes. And Jim, you work in new construction almost completely, don't you?
A good part of my business is that. Yeah, I mean, the conversations are a little different today than they were even 3 or 4 months ago.
Right.
Now it's the cost of a deck was in a conversation I had with one of my builders last evening on a potential project, and he did just quick running of the numbers, and I try to be conservative on the resale. I have to recalibrate everything right now, because where it used to be, bring me a property, I'll write you the check. Now it's bring me the property and let's go over the numbers with this new calculus. And the new calculus is not just the interest rates, that's the buyer's side. On the builder's side, it's really the materials. Some of the labor, I'm guessing, has gone up considerably also. But what's probably going to happen in this market, and James, you can probably speak to this, when all of this is happening in a market, maybe there's going to be more people willing to work for a little less and maybe a little sooner, and maybe work a little harder to get the projects done a little faster. So it's just a whole new shift in the market we have to just work through.
So, James, there is a shift in the market, and you're new in real estate. What have been your biggest obstacles so far?
I think the biggest thing is, when I first came in, as a licensed realtor, I mean, you could put something on the market and you had multiple offers in 24 hours. Now that's not the case. I mean, you're now stuff sitting out there a little bit longer, and as well as you're having to negotiate, with the other agent, on the contract and any repairs and things of that nature. Where when I first came in, it wasn't like that. Um, so that's, and I knew that coming into this, that you have to have those negotiation skills, and you have to understand, the repair aspects of these, reselled homes and things of that nature. It wasn't, as a new agent, it wasn't there, and now it is. So I think a lot of new agents are going to have to do that shift and be able to, counter as they move through this shifting market.
Well, that's absolutely true. And the thing that's going to make a differentiation for people who work with listing is you got to get back to real marketing. You've got to understand what real marketing is. It's people coming to your open house. It's not eyeballs on your ad or likes or anything like that. It's people coming in the door. So you have to do compelling communications. And that seems to be your focus right now, isn't it, James?
Yes, yes, definitely. I'm focusing more on the luxury niche, and I know that's a different group. And and they want a lot of information. They want to know that you're going to be an advocate for their property, but you also know the numbers, you also know the data, you also know how the market is shifting and how that's going to affect their bottom line. you know uh, in the luxury side, I think every property has a story, and being able to tell that story in your marketing is what's going to get that property sold.
Right. Um, so luxury is a different animal. I always say whenever we talk about luxury, that actually has an real definition. And the definition is luxury in real estate is the top 10% of the market in that area at that time. So if you aren't in that top percent, you can be a $2 million property and not be a luxury property. If you're in a place like Newton, where the top 10%, you're going to be in the four, five, $6 million area. So the other aspect of luxury is these people are very, very sophisticated. They have magazines and the high end magazines. They go to high end property and vacation things. So everything has to be at that same level, or there's no entry into it. It's tough to get into, but if you get into it and you do well, then you're already behind the velvet rope.
Yeah,
And
so the interesting thing is that as we're speaking, EXP is happening in Las Vegas. I guess James, you didn't attend.
Yeah, I was unable to attend, unfortunately.
That's fine.
we're
Larry,
not
I see
there either.
you're at home. I'm in the metaverse here. But it was launched yesterday. EXP Luxury was officially launched, and it'll be interesting to see how that niche is going to expand the EXP universe. Um, My question for you, James, is you just came into the business, you already have your focus on luxury. So to get into eXp Luxuries division, so to speak, you need to be certified, but you also have to have a certain number of sales in the luxury percentile. And it's interesting that you would get into the business and have this. I mean, Texas is a large state. You're covering the whole state at the upper level. That's your dream, your vision. How did you just get your license and come to eXp and have this vision? And what's your long-term goal? How have you figured all this out so early in your career?
You know, I think a lot of it goes to back on to my past and dealing. I've dealt with some of these individuals in the luxury space, but more on the construction side. And those type of clients, I mean, they want to have an advocate in their corner. They want somebody. They want that subject matter expert that they can reach out to. I mean, as you get into the pipeline of a transactional agent is what I've heard. On in the norm is as I just don't want to be a transactional agent. I want to be there to help anybody what in any price point, even if it's not luxury or whatnot. But luxury is very exclusive. It's a perfection. The price, the rarity of the properties. They, like I said earlier, they always have a unique story, and just knowing that and being a part of that is something that I strive for, that I want to be a part of.
So
That sounds a bit like your thing too, Larry. With
exactly. So you have to
yeah,
know the difference between a Gaggenau and a Wolf stove, and you need to understand what the top end of the amenities are. All of these luxury properties are beautiful. They're all really nice, but are they the right for your client? Does your client like that open concept, or do they prefer something different? Do they want an incredible number of acres, or do they want to be closer to a downtown area where they can get on the airplane and fly to wherever they have to for their business? Um, it's storytelling at a highest level, because you aren't churning and burning hundreds of deals a year. You're focused on, you may be making a whole lot more money than someone who closes 100 deals at an average price point, but you're not at an average price point. You're a luxury price point.
so this marketplace, I guess this is a question for all of us. Um, Larry, you put a townhouse on the market last week. Has there been an offer yet?
There has not been an offer yet. So we're 7 days into it. I measure it like this. Correct me if you do it differently, Jim, but in the first 30 days, I need to get at least 20 people in the house, and I have to have at least one offer, or we've got to make adjustments. And adjustments, it's price, it's marketing, and really those are the two things. The real estate agent owns the marketing. So I'm going to up the marketing, and then I'm going to say, well, we still don't have any nibbles. We have to deal with price as well. But you tell that to your client coming in. You don't wait until 31 days and call up and say, hey, we're lowering the price. People hate that. They
Well, here's the problem with this market. So, you know, could the interest rates go higher? Could that depress the market further?
Right.
That's the big fear. So I know it's not like 6 months ago where if it didn't sell in 1 week, you have a big problem.
Yeah.
But now, do you even know if you have a big problem? That's the problem.
Well,
Uh,
I do, because the average days on market for properties like this is 63 days. So I drilled down to that. There are only 15 properties sold in those 3 months. And the ones that sold within a month were correctly priced.
but what's the trajectory of days on market? It's going higher, correct?
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
So you sort of have to get ahead of it so that you're not following the market down
Yeah.
with price reductions.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, because I've seen 1 week, 10-day price drops where obviously it's been many years, maybe a decade, where you really didn't see that.
Yeah.
And now it's so and with the luxury, you know, that's hundreds or thousands of dollars more a month
Right.
to carry these properties.
Right.
And you know, I don't want to be gloom and doom, but I think you just have to have those really tough conversations. It's tougher with the sellers now than the
Right.
buyers.
But I want to push back a little bit on the interest rates affecting luxury. All of the luxury clients I've ever had, they don't give a darn about interest rates because they know how to leverage their money. And the interest
Right.
rates, they go up and they go down. They're just moving money around. It's a different thing in luxury.
It is to the point where, yeah, most of these people are going to pay cash and it doesn't matter. But
Right.
at the same time, they're smart enough to be watching the markets. And when there's a bet on Wall Street this week that we're going to have full out Armageddon, you know, there was literally a huge bet. I don't know if you heard this one on the VIX, the volatility index, and it usually I think the worst it got at the beginning of the pandemic, it may have been in like the low 80s,
Yeah.
and even the last financial crisis, um, same thing. And they made a bet that it would be at 150. It was like the maximum bet. Now
Wow.
they can make, you know, if things get really bad, I mean, it's going to go up anyway, but it's an option, so it's a decaying value anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And they put millions into this bet.
Yeah.
So there are some very wealthy and we would say smart, risk adverse people out there that
Yeah.
don't think things are going to be rosy.
Yeah, yeah. And yes, absolutely. No pushback. But here's the thing, in up markets and in down markets, people get married, people get divorced, people have babies, people die, people get new jobs. Almost invariably, the number of properties that exchange hands is similar. Um, and so,
Is that true?
yeah, yes,
No matter what. I mean, I
yeah,
started in the business when interest rates were almost 20%,
yeah.
and almost nothing was selling almost everywhere. It was brutal.
Well, we could go back and look at that if they have records that go back. We have
So
to.
I'm just afraid for people like your sellers. You know, you're in that particular listing that I'm talking about is in the price range where it's still
It's going to go.
low enough almost
Yeah,
everyone can afford it, kind of thing. It's
yeah.
not necessarily luxury, but
No, it isn't. It's an average price home.
yeah. So, but I still think we have to take the big picture into the conversations with all of our clients,
Yeah,
buyers and sellers.
yeah. Well, here's
even
what.
even the luxury buyers and
Right,
sellers.
right. But James was right about pricing being so critical to it. You got to get on there with the right price. It has to be attractive to the market. And what I did with mine was I looked at the market over a period of time and I looked at where it was trending and I put mine on at the lowest price with the highest commission rate. I took a lesser commission because nobody else was offering the commission I'm offering to the buyer's agent. So low price, higher commission. I have zero doubt that's going to bring in people. It is bringing in people. So by the way, I said 20 people and one offer. I've already had 20 people. And I want to say another thing about eXp. I put it on the market and literally maybe within the first hour I got a note from Inside Real Estate. Inside Real Estate owns KV Core, and we have that back end, an unbelievable website that really gets a lot. They suggested to me, they sent me an email, showed me an ad, and I have never done Facebook ads, never ever, because I do my own marketing. But they suggested that I could get a certain number of impressions, meaning somebody looked at it. I don't care if somebody looks at it. I care if they call me. I care if they come to it. That's all I care about. I care if they give me an offer. And what they did was in that week period of time, I spent $60. That's all. Very short money for a listing of this price point. And I had 12 new leads. And every one of those people came in without an agent. So whether I sell them this one or sell them something else, that use of the EXP platform and inside real estate marketing part of it, I'm uh, I'm I'm there.
So
It's
my question on that, do they give you options
yeah.
to promote yourself outside the listing to
I didn't
get,
see that. I didn't see that, but I saw what I wanted to see and I just jumped and moved on.
because as a Facebook ad participant myself, I've never used that. Was it to make it rain, or
It,
this was just
it was inside real estate. Yeah,
okay?
that's the partner behind KV Core.
Okay. I wonder why I haven't seen it because, well, I'm sure I will in the future.
Yeah, yeah. Getting everything connected is absolutely important too. So, James, tell me about your website strategy. How did you start, and how are you building?
So right now I'm using the eXp website that's provided through KV Core, and actually I've actually used a couple of those ads that you're discussing right now. Just I was just trying out everything within KV Core, because it's a new program and I'm learning how it
Yeah,
functions and
yeah.
all the functionality, and it is one powerful tool. I mean,
It really is.
and I know I've barely probably hit the surface of it, but I mean, it's definitely amazing, and I mean, if you can get that down, I mean, it's just going to explode your business. It's just going to explode, everything that you're doing. It takes some time up front, but it's going to pay off in the end.
Oh, absolutely, especially if you do it right. And I think that starting out and having a single-minded focus and doing it, real estate agents are not the. You're not great if all you are is a great salesman. You're great if you are a great teacher. If you come to your clients with education, if you communicate to them about the steps that are about to happen. So, 5 steps down the road, you've already talked about what's going to happen if the inspection doesn't come out and you have to negotiate something. You've already had that conversation. So they're not surprised by that because they were expecting it. We are the best agents are the best teachers. Um, and Jim, you're really good at this as well. Um,
I try to be open to everyone's questions all the time, and I try to get ahead of them. Like I see my book behind you. You don't really. I didn't realize that when you do that, when you put your name as author way down at the bottom in really small print, you don't get the credit. But
did you see I
yeah, yeah,
moved it? I'm
exactly. Yeah,
I moved it
it's
higher.
but I know you're not giving the book out. See, you got to give the book out. But yeah, so yeah, that's my teaching tool. I can't get all the information out to you about EXP in 5 minutes on a phone call or 30 minutes on a Zoom call. I had to write a book. I'm in the middle of writing basically my third book, but my second book about EXP. That's why we do this show. It's really to have an open forum to talk about what's going on, because you can't imagine. It's like I said before, stepping through the Alice's looking glass, and then you see what's going on. I mean, Inman News today, the main story is what's going on at eXpCon and all the speakers. And I'm looking at some of these names. One of them, I almost was considering to choose as my sponsor. They were there as a speaker, and then got written up in Inman News. Who knows? I imagine, Larry, it'll happen. You and I will be on that stage. I almost guarantee it.
Yeah.
I know. I almost guarantee it. Not this year, perhaps. Not next year, perhaps, but someday.
Well, I know that, and this is typical of eXp. I didn't write that book. Jim, for agents who are part of the Castles group, if you're producing enough, he'll give you this so you can hand it out to people and help recruit. And that has been my experience, and that's what this show is about. It's to help eXp agents grow better, grow faster, and feel good about it. So, James, do you have? Would you tell people how they could get in touch with you? The half hour goes by so quickly.
Well, the best way is by phone. My number is 915-352-5689. My email address is james.gardenhire@exprealty.com. Those are the two best ways to get a hold of me at this point.
Well, James, thank you so much. Jim, do you have any other questions?
Yeah, I just where do you want to be in the industry in 5 years, James? Well, what's your goal?
Right now, it's just getting as much information under my belt, and then getting out there and being that advocate for those clients, those luxury clients, and I will get there in that 5 years.
I know you will, for sure.
Excellent. Well,
Thanks, James.
thanks so much, and thanks for listening to the Exponential Files.
See you next week.
Join us next week for another great show and another great guest.